Gaza Strip would become probably eventually it'll be another Singapore. And that's what I'm hoping.
Oh, man, just give me more about the Jesus dreams and shit. I don't really want to hear about this.
And just to
It's
see
the thing. They
vision.
tell us it's going to be about Jesus dreams, and then they just keep more propaganda on the back end.
Federation idea takes place, then the number.
All right, whatever. See, that's the thing. The first time when I got away from it was going to stay away because I already sensed that they did enough Jesus stream, and then they were going to continue with the propaganda. I should have known they you know, I know the game. I don't know. Someone somewhere believed that. They now think that Jesus is working with Israel, and that Hamas terrorists are putting their arms down for Jesus. I'm hoping on that, having faith on that. Iran threatens to strike Israel. Netanyahu skepticism over two-state solution. Let's make this quick. I'm done with this narrative. Right after this, there's going to be another one. They're going to say we're on the brink of war. No, you're already in war. Stop lying. Stop gaslighting. 2024. Stop lying. Stop gaslighting. It's a new campaign.
Israel News is made possible
Israel News.
To your generous donation.
Shalom, good evening. This is TV7 Israel News, broadcast to you from Jerusalem.
I think this guy says Mazel at the end of the broadcast.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu
Mazel.
Over the capacity to grant Palestinian statehood
from
Israel's national security interests. EU Foreign Policy and Security Chief Josep Borrell asserts his own personal opinion, as part of which a two-state solution should gain precedence over any demands for peace between the Palestinians and Israel. Iran pledges to strike Israel after unidentified aircraft killed 5 RGC operatives in the Syrian capital Damascus. Israel will persist with fighting until all of its objectives are achieved, irrespective of mounting international pressure, as part of which it is seemingly keen on ending the war short of this.
That Call of Duty footage mixed in there. They're like,
we are continuing the war on all fronts and in all sectors. We are not giving immunity to any terrorist, not in Gaza, not in Lebanon, not in Syria, and not anywhere. Whoever tries to harm us, we will harm them.
Makes sense.
Netanyahu's film statement was published in response to a Wall Street Journal report in which it noted a joint effort by the United States, Egypt, and Qatar to pressure Israel and the Islamist Hamas to accept a deal that would include a phased diplomatic process deal, which would start with the release of hostages and eventually lead to a unilateral withdrawal of Israeli forces and an end to the war in the terror-plagued Gaza Strip.
Regarding our hostages, we have returned home, as of today, 110 of our hostages, and we are obligated to returning all of them. This is one of the goals of the war, and the military pressure is a necessary condition to achieving it. I am working on this around the clock. But let it be clear, I utterly reject the Hamas monsters' capitulation terms. Hamas is demanding, in exchange for the release of our hostages, the end of the war, the withdrawal of our forces from Gaza, the release of the murders and rapists of the Nukba, and leaving Hamas in place. Were we to agree to this, our soldiers would have fallen in vain. Were we to agree to this, we would not be able to ensure the security of our citizens. We would be unable to safely restore the evacuees to their homes, and the next October 7th would be only a question of time. I am not prepared to accept such a mortal blow to the security of Israel. Therefore, we will not agree to this.
The Israeli premier went on to assert that the conditions set vis-à-vis Hamas prove that there is no alternative to achieving a decisive victory, and the raging war on terror, which the Palestinian Islamists launched upon Israel,
long, hard, and raging war on terror
massacre on October 7th.
No way to put it back down.
The conditions being proposed by Hamas underscore a simple point. There is no substitute for victory. Only total victory will ensure the elimination of Hamas.
Only complete insertion and completion of this.
Biden this in our conversation over the weekend. I greatly appreciate the U.S. support for Israel, and I also expressed this to the president. However, I will strongly insist on our vital interests. I emphasize to President Biden our determination to achieve all of the goals.
Can you imagine the loneliness people must feel absorbing this shit all day?
I insist that after we achieve total victory, after we eliminate Hamas,
this is important. It's real news.
That finances terrorism, educates for terrorism, or sends terrorists. Gaza must be demilitarized under Israel's
happen.
full security
Yeah,
control.
you don't
I will not
understand
compro-
what's happening. It has to happen. Nothing short of complete insertion and completion victory will suffice. We are not pulling out.
We're not
Your
pulling out.
thoughts? No pull out.
Yeah, I'm not ready for that.
Thoughts?
Shout out to slavery. Sorry. Shout out to slavery.
Yeah. Never a dull moment with slavery. We're on the brink of war, okay? Forget about what you just saw. It's not actual war yet. We're on the brink of it still. Something's got to happen. Something's got to change. We don't really know where this goes, but we're now doing 7 wars at once and saying we haven't done it yet. No, I don't know. Let's hear from this guy. What's this guy's name again? Stu? Hear from Stu.
Katie McFarland, who has long
Joseph, don't you talk over this guy. He knows what's going on, okay?
Are we on the brink of war?
You gotta listen so you can understand what's happening.
We don't know.
We're on the brink.
Iranians are at war with us.
Grandpa's just sitting there on his couch.
Revolution, and
waiting
they're
for
They want our
somebody-
rights and freedoms. Oh, wait,
Yes,
that's
to
the United
Israel
States
go on
government.
to. So they've not wavered. Now, are we on the brink of war? What I'm worried about is what you're worried about. Right now, the Biden administration is still, well, we want to appease them. We don't want to drift into something. We're going to placate them. But by that attitude, in fact, they're encouraging war because Iran and Iran's proxies is a little bit more every day, a little bit more intense, frequent. And at some point, a missile is going to get through the defensive perimeter. And then you have mass casualties, American mass casualties. And then we're in a war we don't want. We don't know how to fight, and we could have avoided.
What happens if the Iranians announce they've got nuclear capability?
Everything changes because it's
Oh,
not
that's
just
bad.
Iran.
Why is that bad?
Saudi Arabia has already said if Iran gets nukes, we get nukes. Now, Iran's making them at home. They're building their own nuclear weapons. Saudi Arabia buys them. They buy them from Pakistan, from somebody else. Then Turkey will say, well, if they have them, I need my nukes too. And so then you have a nuclear arms race in the most dangerous part of the world.
That is a very frightening prospect.
It is what everybody I used to teach nuclear weapons at MIT 40 years ago. And that's what everybody always worried about was the proliferation of nuclear weapons in the hands of countries that really are happy to use them. And what we've seen with Iranian proxies on October 7th is the Iranians don't care about mass casualties of Israelis. So the normal hesitation of world powers isn't going to work with Iran. They're not a responsible player.
U.S. and Arab allies are trying to push through a plan to release the hostages.
Fucking Iranians never stop.
War on Israel.
They're doing war everywhere.
Any chance of success for that?
I
Oh,
am
that's
so
you.
tired of the United States government.
Yeah, I've been off my
administration
post
going
here.
around to other
I
countries
could have
and
just
say,
been doing this the whole
is how we
time.
want you to do
That's
things. This is the government
That's
we want
you.
you to have.
That's
You should
you.
have democracy. You should
That's
have elections
them.
just like ours.
That's you.
Did we not learn in Vietnam?
That's U.S.
Afghanistan,
corporation.
That's
and
you.
Libya and Iraq?
That's
Let
Fox
the guys
Noise.
in the
That's
region
you.
figure it out. Let the
That's all the
Israelis
people
figure
who've
it
been
out.
stoking
Let them
wars for the
finish their
last 2-3
job. Let them work
decades,
with
at
other
least
countries
100
in the
years,
region to end this war
50 fucking
at a
wars.
time at
That's
their
you.
own choosing, and let them pay
Not
for it.
Iran, it's you.
Our relationship with Netanyahu has fallen to pieces, hasn't it?
Yeah, but again, it's because the Biden administration.
Yeah,
is
let's get
trying
a
to boss
collective
them around
that's
and
you,
tell
just
them
so they
what
know
kind
at
of
least these
government we should
people
have,
here
how
know.
we
Like
should fight
someone
this
knows,
war.
someone gets it.
That's not Israel right now is united. There are no peaceniks left in Israel.
My father's going to
after
vote for
those
Donald Trump
attacks.
again, but
And
some
then
of
the
us
other
get
thing
it.
that I think
It's
is
you.
worth talking about is we're
That's
there
slavery.
to protect freedom of navigation. Trade,
Because
and
it's
the sea,
them,
like
it's
freedom of
also
seas.
him. That's what they also
Who
understand.
trees
That's
on
you,
the
and it's
North
also
in that
him because
area?
it's
Who
them.
trees in the Red Sea? So that's Europe to Asia. Asia to Europe. Why should we alone
That's
have to
you.
defend those seas? We should have every other European country in there standing together with us saying we together are going to make sure that we have freedom of navigation. And if we all have to go after the Houthis, fine, but go after the source.
Right, our
of it.
next
Go after
enemy.
where
We
those
haven't had a
missiles
new
were
enemy in a
fired from.
while.
Don't just do
It's Al
perimeter
Qaeda,
defense
it's the
and hope that you're gonna catch one
Mujahideen, it's
as
the
it
war on
just about hits
drugs,
the
it's the
ship.
war
They'll
on
take it out of the
air.
region. So far, that hasn't been Iran proper.
That's the
It's been
Houthis.
Iran's proxies. That
I
would
loved
like.
Houthis
Now it's
growing up.
Hezbollah, Houthis. We get a new enemy every 5 years, right?
Thank you,
Katie,
Stu.
many thanks indeed.
Thank you.
There it is. Thanks, Stu. Great job.
I don't see the problem. I mean, I don't see the problem. I grew up on Darius Rucker, Hootie and the Blowfish. Best songs, man. I don't see what the big issue really is, but maybe I'm missing
Right,
something.
but you have to say right. It's Houthi and the Blowfish.
Oh, Houthi. Sorry,
That's
Houthi.
my- Yeah, that's our touring band name at this time.
My apologies. Apologies. Sorry.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
You want more breaking slave news, or you want cops shooting citizen slaves? Hold on, what else do I have here? Migrants are going door to door asking for money. Well, why the fuck shouldn't they? We got Americans here who got all the opportunity in the world going door to door asking for money. Ask Jack Slavecott and the rest of them. They're not even going door to door. Sitting online all day begging for it. So, hey, if they're going to do it on all these other panels and use me, well, migrants should go door to door as well and tell these fucking slaves to kick in something. Tell them I sent you. All right? I'm endorsing that. Need some FaceTime with some of these people. Work it out. Matter of fact, Slavecott and the rest of them should let these migrants in and house them. You're not paying for that house anyway. The fuck is your problem? You were really a loving, caring, active person. What is all that noise? PinealPower, are you vacuuming?
Sorry, I didn't know I was unmuted.
What were you laughing?
Nah, of course not.
What was that? What are you letting air out of something?
Yeah, had to breathe out of my nose there a little bit.
Oh, okay. Do you support Talcott?
I support.
Or actually,
look, I
are you
support-
going to enforce? No, not support. Are we enforcing that Talcott let these damn migrants in? Because if he's not going to pay for that house and he's going to talk living without fear and love and all the rest of it, he should have to house these fucking migrants.
It's hard to disagree.
I'm sending them over there, okay? That's all I'm getting down to. You do whatever you want. I can't really control that. I'm sending like a whole group of migrants your way. I know where you're at. So, I don't want to hear Talcott complaining, oh, a group of migrants showed up yesterday. They want to live in my house. Yeah, I sent them. Okay? So practice living without fear. Practice that love and light shit. Everything else you talk, they need it. They need it now more than ever. These people are hungry. They're tired. They've been through a lot, unlike you. You've had way too much for too long, and now the reckoning is here. A man grabs Coyote's tail to save beloved dog's life. Let's watch that because I actually watched this one, and this is good because, like, there's this big, well, I'm not going to say. I'm going to say, I'll say effeminate. Okay? This big, effeminate African-American man in slides, looks like OTW shoe slides, the ones he sells for $80. He comes running out in this bathrobe, and while he is effeminate, seemingly effeminate, he handles this coyote rather swiftly. So let's see this, Joseph.
It's man versus coyote. And this guy isn't about to lose his tussle with the wild animal. Timothy Snipe was out in his yard in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, with his pint-sized chihuahua named Roxy. Suddenly, Roxy noticed the coyote and ran right for it.
What did you think when you first saw the coyote?
I thought he was going to grab her and take her back in the woods.
Despite wearing a bathrobe and slippers, he knew that unless he fought off the animal, Roxy was a goner. The animal fights back, biting Snipes multiple times. So he grabs the coyote by the tail.
Damn.
All this time, Roxy is yapping away.
He actually jumped on me, and I fought him.
What they got this thing wearing, man?
That's what I would do with Mitchell if he ever acted up with me in person. I just lift him up and put him in the garbage.
Drops him inside like trash. But look, you can see the lid of the bin moving as the coyote tries to escape. Animal control showed up to take the coyote away. Snipe is taking no chances. From now on, Roxy will be wearing this spiky harness that will make any coyote think twice before trying to chomp down.
And that's why I tell you,
on this.
You talk all that shit online about everybody being gay and this, that, and the third because you want to project. I'm not going to mention any names, but what are you going to do when that guy comes at you one day? All right, he's going to lift you right up, put you in the garbage. Many of you on here wouldn't have dealt with that coyote the same way. So, yeah, even effeminate big black men are more competent and capable than a lot of these beta males on here. That's why I say I've only given moderators to African Americans. These are the most competent, capable people. They're able to deal with life on life's terms. And I've completely rebuked pretty much all white people everywhere that I meet them until they prove otherwise to be competent and capable. So that's our new test, Ramiro. Anyone comes where we're going to be at, we're going to send some coyotes into the area with them. And if they can't figure out how to deal with them, then I don't want them around me. And so I might even let that guy stay, even though the bathrobe and the little chihuahua and the whole thing It's ridiculous. The whole thing's ridiculous, but he knows what to do next, so I kind of trust him.
Yeah, I was surprised at what he did. Not many people would actually do that. But good thing, Paul, we won't have that issue out on the land. We'll have her taking care of that problem if need be.
Yeah, we can't see. I'm sure he's showing the animal, but you're lagging. Yeah, he has a big.
What's her name, RJ?
You can see it?
No.
All right, I'm sorry. I was saying that we won't have that problem out on the land. But I was surprised at how that dude grabbed that coyote and threw him in the dumpster. But
Yeah,
out on the
black
land,
people have been through everything in life, man. They've been downtrodden, slavery, all of it. So
Oh, yeah.
coyote's nothing. That's why I
Yeah.
say Talcott's had too much for too long. He wouldn't know what to do with that fucking coyote. He'd be like, running around, squealing, trying to jump up on the table. That guy grabbed the fucking thing by its tail.
What's her name?
her name, hey, Chata. Her name is Chata.
Chata?
Chata, yeah. Chata means dark one.
It's a pretty accurate name.
Yeah, that dog's got the devil in it. She's very loving and caring, but she's got the devil in it. I guess they'll say the same thing about me.
Hey, Paul, she really loves you, man.
Yeah, we have a mutual connection.
Yeah, I'm surprised. She's not she really doesn't. I guess we could say like many people. She's always insecure, and I noticed that when you met her, yeah, she just opened up to you and like she does to me. So, yeah.
Yeah, other than when that one time I tried to fuck with her a little bit, I was massaging her joints, and I started getting more and more rough, and trying to see like what her pain tolerance was. So you're kind of going a little bit more hard, a little bit more harder, and then at a certain point, she kind of picked her head up and gave me the look, and when I kept doing it, she fucking let me know. So
yeah, she does that too. She does that quite often. It's kind of like her just saying, "Hey, that's enough rubbing," but doesn't mean she don't like you.
No, but she got a little bit, she showed the teeth and gave me the whole deal. So
yeah, she'll do a little snap.
She'll let you know you don't play.
She does that.
All right, we got to expect a new normal 2024 from The Economist.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, we're going to have to learn a little bit more about what that means.
A post-holiday poll from the U.S. consumer.
This is who I always listen to, guys who dress and look like this.
December has risen to the highest level in 5 months. MasterCard said this week U.S. retail sales rose a decent 3.1% during the crucial holiday shopping
I went
season.
to school with that guy.
Consumer data about to get even better as the Fed potentially cuts rates in March 2024, as Goldman Sachs economists predict. Joining us now is Tuan Nguyen, RSM U.S. economist. Tuan, good to see you here this morning. Are you surprised by this consumer resilience we are seeing here in December? And what are some of the biggest risks you see to consumers next year?
We are not totally surprised by the improve in terms of confidence from the consumers, because we know that there's still a lot of excess savings, around $400 billion in terms of excess savings. And it's always great to be on air at the end of the year to talk about good news, right? 2024, we think, will be the year when we begin to experience the new normal. Now, first, when we refer to normal, what we mean is that in 2024, we believe that the economy can achieve its soft landing goal of returning to around 1.8 to 2% growth, the kind of growth that we saw pre-pandemic. And in terms of inflation, in our base case, we think that we will continue to normalize toward the inflation target rate of 2%. And the inflation, underlying inflation, is expected to end the year around 2.5%. Now, however, this is not quite the 2% that the Federal Reserve is aiming for, and that's really the new aspect of the equation that will come into play, which we believe will be with us for the next 3 to 5 years, because in the next economic period, demographic changes.
Yeah, you
Labor
have to wonder,
shortages,
like, does this clown not know how the world works, or does he know and just lie to everyone? You know, like, oh, new normal pandemic. Like, yeah, okay. We're just going to leave all the rest of the details out, right? Like, are you that stupid? And then he'll go, no, you're the stupid one. I have the degree and I'm in a suit and I'm on the news. You're the idiot. And then you have to wonder, does he really believe what the fuck he's saying? Or are they just expert gaslighters and bullshitters? I don't really believe they're like coordinated and evil. I think they're just duped. And they believe they have the answers because they've been given the pass with the institutions and the entitlements. And everything they say has to be correct because they've all conferred together. What else could there be that they didn't know, right? Your thoughts?
Did you know? Sorry, Paul, go ahead.
No, I'm saying your thoughts on, like, am I schizophrenic? Here's your three choices. I'm a schizophrenic seeing a whole reality that doesn't exist, along with a bunch of others. We just found each other. They know the reality I'm talking about that exists, and they're lying about it and bullshitting everyone else. Or the reality I'm talking about exists, and they're just so duped they can't conceive of it. Can I get one of three answers, or even a fourth? Like D, none of the above, and supply your own
They know
answer.
what the truth is as far as that goes. Those, you know, an economist, a professional economist, if they want to assess the state of inflation, they go to the grocery store, they look at the cost of eggs, they look at the cost of milk, they look at the cost of bread. That's actually how they do it. So if you ever want to look past the bullshit detector on that particular item, all you got to do is go to the grocery store, go through your grocery list, see how much it costs more than the previous month. They can't really fudge that too much. There's other goods you could look at, the cost of cars, the cost of, you know, various consumer goods. But food is one of those things that's very difficult to spoof in the long term.
Yeah, I mean, gold is $2,000 an ounce, up from whatever it was, 200 in the 80s. It's 10x. Your Bitcoin that they all say is nonsense has been on upward trajectory since it's been created. There's certain ways that this shows itself. I mean, silver's at a 300% high, I think, over the decade. I'd have to look back at that. I don't want to say something that's not correct statistically.
As I understand it, the price of gold doesn't ever move. It's fixed. It's an anchor. It's something that you can always know what the price of it is. So what actually changes is the price of the dollar, as I'm sure you know, Paul. The price of the dollar is what will diminish over time, while the price of the gold stays the same. In relation to it, the price of gold appears to go up in value, resulting.
Yeah, well, just like the home situation, you're going to start to see, I believe, rising home prices even more than you already have. Everything bubble, right? Bitcoin's 41,000 per coin. You're going to see, you know, houses that were once 30, 50, 80,000 are already at 300,000, 350. They're going to go to 5. So, and again, they know this. It's all trends. You could argue it's all gamed and manipulated. Even the beginnings and endings, right? They're already preparing themselves, shutting down nationwide stores at the highest level, preparing for even more economic collapse that they doubled down to profit from engineering with the last 3 years. All of those companies put people out of work on the lowest level and profited from it, and then shut their stores down. You don't think that they knew what they were doing? They're like, we're going to triple, quadruple up and close down locations and change our business model to go online. It's all one fell swoop. And they want to just say slamdemic. That doesn't explain all the rest of the moving parts and the system's dynamics and how it was all called out ahead of time and led to where we knew it was going to go. All right. It's, you know, you can't get any more ridiculous and absurd. And these are the same people who are now regretting their decisions over the last 3 years, but won't cop to it. Right. And then they want to get on these message boards and cry and whine. We were there. We told you, and you fucking told us we were crazy and sick and we should be put in prison for not helping you and keeping you safe by destroying ourselves. So I don't even tell you to go fuck yourselves. I just go, hey, you got a lot more learning to do in yourself and in this life. Just get on it. Don't even bring me or others into the conversation. This is a you versus you for all of us. You got the discernment, the understanding, and the solutions, or you don't. If you don't, then you better get on it, because things are not always what they seem. Oftentimes, most things are not what they seem. Julian, what's going on, sir?
How's it going, fellas? Alrighty then.
Good to see you, man.
I was just waiting to see what what anyone was going to say back. That was a hell of a welcome committee, huh?
Good to see you, bro.
No worries. Yeah, just kind of wanted to get up here, join, say what's up to everybody. Super excited about the new normal. You know, from what I hear, it's going to be a hell of a time.
Yeah, why not? We're all here anyway, right? We ain't going nowhere till we are. Feeding back on your end.
Oh shit! Sorry, I'll mute.
All right, well, we're almost out of time anyway. We made it. We made the whole 3. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink. The economy's in a very good position. Okay, and he's saying that. You got to see this thumbnail. He's saying that, and then on the thumbnail is everything red and down. Like all the indicators are red and down and going straight down. And the headline is BlackRock CEO Larry Fink says the economy's in very good position. Look at this. They love to fuck with her. Look, all the arrows just down, red. Everything's great. It's better than ever. Okay. They'll just keep telling that story, right? Even though we showed The Economist months ago say, we never could have imagined. It seems it's going to be worse than ever on the horizon. So they keep forecasting just bizarre oppositional stories. Like, very interesting how these folks work. Fog that they put everyone under. Bitcoin, I'm not really interested in it. What's that now?
It's a spell.
I can't hear you. I can't understand you. I don't know what you're saying.
Oh, I said it's a spell. Sorry, can you hear me?
Oh. Yeah, it's psychological war games where they just throw so much at you. Somewhere in there is the truth, but there's so much around it, you can never really accept it.
It blows my mind, the labeling fallacy. You know, if you turn on your shower and it's scalding hot, you're gonna burn yourself, right? So you ever had a shower you turned on before the faucet, the handle was a little broken? Maybe you turn it to red and it's in fact blue, or you turn it to blue and it's in fact red. It's the labeling fallacy. If you turn it to red and it's in fact blue, the temperature of the water is always going to be whatever it is. So you should never trust. Everybody knows or has figured out from burning themselves that if you trust the color of the handle on a shower the first time you use it, you might hurt yourself. You always feel the water first before you get in the shower.
Yeah, that's kind of like when Joe Biden said, poor kids are just as intelligent as white kids. That reminded me of. I don't know why.
Classic, man.
All right, let's go to the Joseph. No comment on that. It's better that way. Resisting suspect gets shot as he pulls out a knife for going to the cops shooting slaves segment, because I know folks love this. Democracy, right? Demo crazy.
Demo slavery.
Watch. I know you love this PinealPower. Love watching slaves get gunned down for democracy and safety.
Today, Bakersfield police released body camera footage of an officer-involved shooting that occurred on November 26th.
PinealPower wants to see the guy get shot. He doesn't give a fuck about it.
Yeah, they're just gonna need to get your information real quick.
All right, this is how this is gonna go. You're gonna give us all the information, pretty much everything you got. You're gonna let us take complete control over you. If you don't do that, we're probably gonna hurt you. For safety.
Real quick. Put your hands behind your head. Hey!
Oh, yeah, you don't want to do that.
I don't know. Grab it. I'm checking the place. Hey! It's a knife! It's a knife! Hey! Oh, dude! No! No! Drop the knife! Drop the fucking knife! Drop the knife! 998. Drop the knife! Drop the knife!
How did three guys go hands-on with a guy with a knife and leave him to point guns at him? Doesn't make any sense.
Drop the fucking knife, David! David, we want to help you. Just drop the knife.
Probably fucking can't let go.
What kind of cut was that? DJ screeching halt.
Drop the knife! Drop the knife! 998.
Did they shoot him and I didn't hear it?
Drop the knife, David! Drop the knife! Drop the knife, David! David, we want to help you. Just drop the knife.
We want to help you. From the government, we're here to help.
Drop the knife. Here to broadcast, Jesse. Drop the knife. I don't know what's happening, Pina. I'm going to the next one because they just showed 2 cuts in a row where I didn't hear any gunshots, and they went to a third one.
I just don't know why they waited so long to just unload on him, man. Just you know, shoot, ask questions later. What's going on there?
All right, forget about that. I got something better for you. Guy's got scissors, okay? He's going to run at the police, and we're going to see how this ends up. You got any bets on this? How this is going to end?
It's going to get capped.
You know? Okay.
I think a door just opened. Are you? Who are you? You ready for this? Hey, bro, don't do it, dude. Don't do it, bro. I'm telling you right now. Max.
Were you the one that was fucking telling me, bro?
Max. Max, stop.
This is what you fucking wanted. This is what you fucking wanted.
Hey, dude, I need you to realize we could talk it out.
No, we fucking can't.
Why can't we talk it out? Do it for your daughter. Do it for your daughter.
They're fucking
Stop,
bullshit, jackass. At least do your fucking research.
Okay.
My daughter, I don't have a fucking daughter.
Okay,
I wish I had
try.
a fucking daughter. But this fucking bitch
Hey,
cheated
I
on me
need
with some
you to-
fucking nigga from school.
All right, fuck
Her
that guy.
goddamn
But I
way.
need you to realize
Yeah,
something.
fuck that guy. This is what I want to do
Then
to
just
him.
drop it.
But I'm
Then
going to
just
do it to
drop
you
it.
or him. You guys decide.
Drop it, dude. I'm telling you right now. Drop it. Don't do this. I don't want to shoot
No,
you.
it's done.
I don't
I
want
seen
to
it.
shoot you. I
It's
do
done.
not.
This is what you fucking wanted. Stop it. This is what you fucking wanted.
We need units to go through.
Pop it, dude.
This,
You ready for this?
I don't want to shoot you. Stop.
You don't want to shoot me, then why the fuck you doing this?
Because you have scissors, bro.
Then why the fuck you doing this?
We came here just to check up on you.
Shoot
You
me.
need to get back, bro.
This is done. This is done. Man, sit down. This is
Sit
done.
down.
No, you fucking decided that. I gave you fucking everything. I gave you everything.
You're really going to kill this guy instead of tasing him or pepper spraying him when they have all the time in the world. All the opportunity in the world. It's incredible. Guy's obviously simped and tricked out. He's going crazy over this goofy bitch, and they're going to kill him.
Or you on the phone? Who was I not going to?
Stop.
Max, don't do this, brother. You can't. Don't do this, bro. I don't want to have to do this. You're gonna fucking do it, my guy. This is gonna be a learning curve for you.
Please.
Have you shot anybody before?
Max.
Have you shot anybody before?
Listen.
Have you shot anybody before?
Listen. All right.
Have you shot anybody
Is there
before?
anything I'm doing wrong to
No,
get you
you're not
mad?
doing anything wrong.
So
Have
why?
you shot anybody before? Max, let me do this.
You're about
Have you
to.
shot anybody before? Today's gonna be the day.
Hey, you need to stop.
Today's gonna be the day.
Jordan,
Today's
stop.
gonna be the day.
Max, stop,
Today's
dude.
gonna be the day. Today's gonna be the day, guys.
No, it's not. It doesn't have to be today.
It's gonna be this way.
It doesn't have to.
Bet you that guy who just came through the door is going to shoot him.
You do not know.
It doesn't
the
have
fucking
to.
struggle that I went through. Fucking struggle with that. I fucking threw it.
It doesn't have to be this way. You're right. You fucking tase the fucking guy, you know? No, no. It doesn't have to
No, we don't do less lethal anymore. We just point guns at you, and if you don't stop, you get shot at.
Yeah. Which ultimatum do you want, sir?
Stop, please, Max.
This is how it ends. This is what you wanted. This is what you wanted.
Max.
This is what you wanted.
Listen.
Hey, by the way, my cousin, he works for Oh, really? Yeah. So, sorry you guys have to do this, but it's gonna happen this way.
Listen. If you don't want to talk to us, how about you talk to one of my other partners? How about that?
No, I don't want to talk
All right,
to any of
okay.
you fucking guys. Look,
Okay.
my fate is sealed, my guy. My
There
fate
you
is
go.
sealed. I am
All
rock
right.
bottom. There's absolutely nothing you're gonna do here. It's if you give me that motherfucker here right now, and I take his life, or you take my life.
He's got a pair of like preschool scissors for art class.
So it's gonna be my life or you guys.
What do I say? You got to send corrections officers in to deal with these people because these on patrol punks can't figure out how to think on their feet.
I have tried so goddamn hard, and especially for fucking you. I understand. Especially for fucking you. I tried so.
Fucking tase the guy, take him into custody, let him calm down, and give him some help if necessary. No, we ain't gonna do that.
Wait. All right, I get that.
No,
All right.
you can go out that way. I'll let you go out that way.
You want to let me go out?
Yeah, I'll let you go out.
She has to come out with me, though.
No, I'm not gonna hurt her. That's my boy's mom. I'm not gonna hurt her.
Okay.
I'm not gonna hurt her.
Let her
You
go
don't
then.
worry about her.
Okay.
It's just, you wanna go out there with that? I want you guys to shoot me in the fucking same
No,
direction.
I don't
Go out
want to
there.
shoot you. That's the thing.
Go out there. No,
That's
you're
the
gonna
thing.
shoot me. You're gonna shoot me.
Get
You're gonna
out.
fucking shoot me.
Get out. Get out.
You know.
Wait. Stop, dude.
Stop. You know.
Wait.
Alright, let go. Patient shots fired. Officers report for. They have a suspect down.
That bitch is fake crying too. See what simping will get you? Goofy bitches. Her fake crying like, oh, I'm the victim now. I just witnessed this. Shit's pathetic. Your thoughts?
Yeah, these people are just
Definitely another good reason not to be simping for people, because then you fucking will face down 3 guns and be ready to run towards any of them. It's fucking insanity. Wow.
Yeah, because all these women who call everybody narcissists nowadays, they're doing it. She's probably gaslighting them, narking on them, dealing with his friends, whatever else. And instead of everybody, again, because we all do the same shit, right? Like, we're all the same self. We all do the same shit, but we never find the way out. So we wind up in resistance. We wind up, giving too much time, energy, attention over instead of just working with and understanding with, like I always talk about. And then that's where the shit ends. When there's no understanding and there's no acceptance and there's no complete communication, then you have all that emotion, betrayal, all the rest of it. And it's just ridiculous to me how you could have all these officers at every one of these times. People are in a moment of passion and they can't figure out ever what seemingly to do or how to, resolve the conflict. And it's like more and more each day, it's ending the same way. And I can't believe that there wasn't a time when this shit went on at all. So I think that there's a lot to look at here, a lot to learn, and a lot to consider when it comes to the systemic issues and problems, conscious awareness on all sides. Because this is how we deal with people when they're going through shit with their woman or whatever. It's the same shit we all go through because we all go through the same shit. So you're going to pull a gun on a guy and, I don't know. I guess, again, it's easy to talk when you ain't there, but I just don't see how how all these people in every position play their part in position. Confusion. I'm in my confusion. Who's that? I thought Christos just came up here.
Confusion magnified and multiplied and morphed and transformed and mutated.
On all sides, right? Confusion with the goofy bro, confusion with him, confusion with policy enforcement.
It's incredible, man. Fucking incredible.
Nobody seemingly knows what themselves are doing or anybody else in the room. It's really fucked up, man. Talk about a simulation to end all simulations.
I've seen many opportunities. I'm sorry, go ahead. I've seen many opportunities where they could have just rushed in, taken the knife out of his hands, and dealt with that problem.
Yeah, you would think that there would have been a time or a certain type of person who would rather at least take one stab from play school scissors rather than have to take a life. Like when confronted with, okay, do I want to get stabbed? No. Do I think this guy can kill me and these 3 other guys with these play school scissors? Probably not, especially with body armor and everything else. So, we give each other the look and then you take the guy, hands on, just like they would do out of jail. Right. But these guys are so in fear on the job, let alone of anyone. But if someone's like of good size, they're like, he's got play school scissors. There's only 5 of us out here. It's like, so you'd rather take that guy's life and then all start shooting together than just go hands on with them. And one of you gets stabbed maybe a little bit Probably not, because you're wearing body armor. I don't know. I mean, it's really just indicative of, like I've said, the low value of life at this point. There's so little value for life. They just show up and, hey, it's just another one. It's another dumb slave acting out. We're not going to risk ourselves. We want to go home to our goofy family. So if we got to shoot this motherfucker to stop him, well, that's what it is. And this is part of the problem, too. Not only sick people on patrol who are disconnected from who they're dealing with, but folks who are not from your community. This is why you need to have community patrol or enforcement or whatever you want to call it. Folks who live with each other and around each other, because they go, oh, we know the story. You know, we're going to handle this a different way. We're not going to come in with strangers from the outside pointing guns at people in their own home. It doesn't do much for conflict resolution, for de-escalation purposes, right? It just doesn't work on any level. You need to send these patrolmen to the jail, let them get 3 to 5 years, take everybody who's been in the jail for 3 to 5 years and put them on patrol. They'll show up with one shield and they'll get that guy under control in 30 seconds with pepper spray. I've seen it over and over again, just like everyone has on lockup. I don't care who you got. Fucking, you know, most powerful, crazy motherfucker. They're going to take him down and get him under control within 20 seconds. But, you know, some folks might say it's not really designed for that at this point. They'd rather just kill a slave. Seems that you're worth more dead at this point than you are alive, some might say.
Especially if you're an organ donor.
These videos, they, whether they're real or not, it's difficult to look past anytime there's the appeal to emotion fallacy, enter into fair and objective reasoning when you're approaching this content. It appears that the broadcasting of these videos is building up a police state. It's building up a narrative where it's an us versus them, the thin blue line versus the rest of us. And you know, I think there are good cops out there, and so I think educated police, they're not going to be a problem.
How do you define a good cop? If somebody signs up implicitly to follow orders of a superior to do things that are immoral, how could there be even one good cop objectively in that organization when they all are engaged in an immoral practice of order following?
I had a friend who was a cop and she quit, and I thought she was a good cop.
So you're saying the only good cop is a non-cop or a dead cop?
No, I think I think she started off with the vision that many of them might have, where they want to, you know, stop bad guys from hurting good people, and that's why they're there.
Well, that's the point. We're all supposed to do that by nature. You don't need a costume and a system for that. It's called being a good person.
Truly.
Yeah, I mean, I told my sister before she joined the force, you know, you're gonna probably see some stuff you're not gonna like. You realize that, right? Like on a scale that you're probably not even considering, or you know.
Right, but that's 3/4 of it's not that. It's them patrolling around treating regular people like slaves. And a good portion of their business is about drugs. We know that. Like at least half or 3/4 of their prison revenue is about drugs. So you're just patrolling around looking for fucked up people in an already fucked up situation, trying to put them in a box for having some substance or giving it to someone else. Like we need that. Like that benefits anybody.
What are your thoughts on the constitutional sheriff?
Like I've said, if I'm going to meet folks in the middle, because they'll call me an anarchist with no understanding of what it actually means. Like I think there'll never be law or rules. No, there's inherently rules in law. It's called conscience. You can come to know right from wrong and do it. And it's objective. We don't need systems for that and costumes. If I have to meet you in the middle, we're going to do away with policy enforcement because we don't need policy enforced on men and women of the people. I've explained the dual jurisdiction they've created to pimp on everybody and got everybody locked in with that. It's contractual, right? The political body politic, the public service aspect of law, right? The legal aspect. So yeah, I'll meet you in the middle. Constitutional sheriff will uphold God's law. They come when they're called, and they come only for a direct threat, a disturbance of the peace. That was the original Americana. So if you're causing loss, injury, and harm, or you're about to, and you're observed about to, reasonable suspicion, you will be contacted, and we're going to have a discussion, or there's going to be a trial held by your peers, and your townspeople are going to say, how much of a fucking problem has this guy been consistently? Are we going to kind of like let him go in good faith? because we can't really prove he did wrong, or has he been a consistent fucking problem and constantly causing loss, injury, and harm? He's got to be separated for everyone's own good and rehabilitated. You know, that's the best you're going to do with any of this system. And even that is kind of overstepping bounds, because there's going to be some error in that system. Somebody at some point, unless you're extremely vigilant, is going to have to go do time for something where there's no loss, injury, or harm occurring. And it's going to be based on people's sentiments and beliefs if you collectivize it. And that's the whole point of an administrator. You have to have someone who can be completely impartial and objective, and most people are not that. They get in their feelers enough, and they get in a big enough group, and they're going to want something done to somebody based on what they feel, even if there's a reasonable doubt about a crime taking place. And again, crime is loss, injury, and harm. It's not a misdemeanor. Somebody got offended because you didn't do what they thought you should do. But yeah, I don't necessarily have a problem with that. You know, people who rob should be dealt with. They're going to be dealt with. You rob the wrong person, they're going to put you in the ground. People who kill should be dealt with. They're going to be dealt with. If you kill somebody of somebody else and they decide to, they're going to kill you back and yours. We see that all day, every day, right? So yeah, people who steal and kill and cause loss, injury, and harm should and will be dealt with one way or the other. So yeah, we erect a system to try to get that done in a quote unquote civilized manner to avoid killing and killing and killing and killing. You know, like they used to have family rivalries where people would kill each other for decades. So, you know, I mean, they put forth, that's the idea of what it's for, a civilized society, to stop that kind of behavior. And then what does it degenerate into every single time? Fascism, corruption, extortion, bad faith, revenue endeavors, slavery, and genocide is the long and short of it. They'll say men are not angels, so they need to be governed. Well, if men are not angels, they're not fit to govern. How are you going to say the same man that's capable of so much evil and darkness is going to be put in a position to judge other men and women? It's complete foolishness, especially without a spiritual practice and a spiritual faith system.
Or knowledge of the law.
Well, knowledge of the law is knowledge of self. That's the point. You can't know the law unless you know yourself. That's how you have so many judges and lawyers and police claiming to be for the law. They're just part of a legal society, a fraternal order. All they're doing is parroting and acting on what they've been taught. They don't know themselves, so they don't really know the law. They just know legal process and legal appeal to a legal society. They're fucking clowned out and pimped out. That's all it is. And they'll laugh at me like I don't know something they know. No, I know what they know and more. I know what they were never told. I got the information direct from the source and from the other people walking in the way. I didn't get it from a cult.
The constitutional sheriff, in its origins, is supposed to be the trump card. It's supposed to be the people's last resort before government or what have you, the monarchy, if you will, sets.
Yeah, and if those sheriffs are a bunch of cowards with no mind, heart, and balls, it doesn't matter what your systemic trump card is. We're still men and women first. They're a bunch of cowards. So they won't even use the system put in place to uphold justice. They're too scared of the consequences. I've had them tell me, we're not going to do nothing when Colorado, whatever's involved. And I told them, you're a bunch of fucking cowards. And I left. I don't care what you think about that. I said, you folks signed up to protect foreign and domestic from terrorism. And I'll give you the definition from the FBI and the CIA of terrorism. It's exactly what they're doing. They're pushing their political policies and they're enforcing it on the individual. That is the definition of terrorism. You think it's a coincidence? The U.S. code is written to stop all this, and they haven't activated it, and they haven't acted on it. That's why it's happening and getting worse than ever. They were supposed to stop this and never let it happen to begin with. These are traitors. They're doing treason. They're locking up their countrymen to generate revenue for no loss, injury, and harm, which means no crime is committed. These are redcoats. This is the takeover from within. And the majority of my fellow man and woman believe in the redcoats' ideology and say that it's the law because they're so slaved up and slaved out. That's the reality we're living in. You say law, they point to statute, policy, and code. It's called pimped. Doesn't matter if you show them the etymology and the U.S. code and all the rest of it. They don't want to know about it. They're right by the mind, heart, and balls, and so are all the sheriffs. And even if they know what the fuck I know and support me, they won't do what the fuck I do because they're cowards and they only show up to cash a check and eat donuts and do as least as possible. And that's everybody in this corporate system at this time. Let's be real about it.
And to be fair, I mean, you know, Austin Murphy's saying Joseph's a good slave, no such thing as a good policy enforcer clown. But, you know, Austin, you know, no disrespect, but you're still rocking the pick from when you were in the whatever, army, military. I think the military. I mean,
right. It's never the same when I do it. That's the syndrome everybody has. Never the same when I do it.
And I get it. Like, what, you know, what you gained there, you know, I get that part of it. I get that aspect of it, you know, the discipline, you know, etc. But kind of like sort of still clinging to that, you know, clinging to that identification with, you know.
This is why the founder said, we want a regulated militia, which is just regular men and women who train and understand God's law. There is no organization. They knew if you create organization and people join it, they're all going to be cowards because only cowards join groups. So you want to sit there and tell me about laws and systemic checks and balances? How are you going to get it done when everybody making up the system is a collectivized group consciousness coward that can't stand on their own and make a living on their own? They're all the same.
Yeah, the repugnancy. If you're engaged in policy or code that is repugnant to the Constitution or that lineage, you are in error, and so that's where it needs to be corrected. Is not allowing for those policy or code to continue. What we have now, if I understand, you can stop it with the judiciary, the court system, if it's unconstitutional, but that's only on a case-by-case basis.
What is this person not understanding, Joseph? There's no group there. That's called Americans individually coming together. I'm doing air quotes, even though you can't see me right now. Coming together to serve a purpose. They train together if necessary, and then they go back to their lives. There is no monolithic standing group or army. There is no systemic creation. There is no leader and no head. But you have to be unified in purpose and understanding and meaning, and we're not, because they think statute, policy, and code is law. And many of them are godless infidels, so they don't even have a faith-based system of living. Okay, so let's just understand the difference between what I said, which was a collective of individuals who come together to serve a purpose and then go back to their lives when that is fulfilled. And they may prepare and train together, but that's called a community. That's not an organization. That's not a mobbed up, costume wearing, centralized governance system. That's any good, prosperous community is going to be like you saw down south with the Bundys. They're a well-regulated militia. Not too well-regulated, obviously, but you get my point. They didn't need to put on a costume. They didn't need to erect a system. They all live in and amongst the community in the town, and they all know when to come together when they're being invaded by scum who want to take what they all have. Very simple concept.
Yeah, they're going to fight or kill or be killed for a cause, for a reason, whereas most all military members of today, they do it so they can get free community college. They're willing to go kill or be killed for community college, for what some wouldn't even call a benefit, but what they call benefits. It's, I don't know, man. It's a lot to take in after looking at the world one way for your entire life. It's no wonder it's so hard for some of these people to fucking turn around and be like, holy shit, I've been rooting for the side that's actually taking me down. So, I don't know. I kind of lost my train of thought there, but
yeah, it's the same dynamic over and over again. Like Darth Vader told Luke Skywalker, I'm your daddy. Right? When you really wake up in this realm and on this land and pretty much every land, you start to realize, oh, wow, the good guys aren't in charge. It's the Death Star, right? The good people are the individuals who aren't grouped up and united, who come to walk the way in the awareness and consciousness of who and what they truly are, not what we were told we are. Right? The law versus man's law. Which, how can man ever make law or unmake law? It sounds good to them, to the folks who think they're common sense because they're worldly logical. But, man does not make law. Man interprets law using conscience locally. It's already there. That's why the guy said to me, why do you keep calling it the law of the land and all the rest? He don't even know what he's talking about. I'll bring you right back to their universities. You're a clown in costume and you don't even know what your own university says. I know more about your cult than you do. That's how fascinating it is. It's like you meet somebody, they're in a cult, and then they're saying you're trying to do a cult. I go, no, you're projecting. You're so in a cult, you don't even know you're in one. I know more about you people observing you than you do because you're too close to the action. They never have any answers. I go, do you see any problem with the fact that you can't explain actually why you're doing anything you're doing, and you keep appealing to your emotions and authority and never to the facts of the matter or the case law? And they go, we don't even want to see it. That's what a cult person would say. We don't want to see the facts of the matter on who and what our daddy is. We don't want to go back to what's been established. We're just going to appeal to how it feels and what we've always done, our traditions. That's the thing. There's true faith or there's the husk of faith. And like the Tao says, you go back 1,000 years before Christ. Tradition is the husk of true faith. You have true faith where everything works and we're united in purpose and meaning and understanding through conscience and spirit. And then there's the husk of that, which is regalia, traditions, costumes, culture, society. It's a substitute for the real experience. You bring someone with no faith, the idea of not having statute, policy, and code, they almost fall apart. They go, what would we do tomorrow if there weren't all these statute, policy, and code running everybody? I go, ye of so little faith think that we don't have an internal governance system to rely on and that we need millions of statutes, policies, and codes to keep us from doing bad things. That's the rallying cry of an infidel. They think they need to get groups of other men together in their ego to come up with thousands of rules so we don't do wrong. They couldn't even conceive of the idea of God and God's law written on our heart or indwelling or available for us to apprehend objectively. It's fascinating. All they do is convict themselves and indict themselves while they think they're making a point of how foolish I am. Happens over and over and over again.
Yeah, I think this realm is kind of a place for us to be able to learn God's law or law of creation or whatever you want to call it, right? I think that our experience here is the only way that we can truly come to know that, like come to a complete comprehension and knowing of it. You have to be able to make the mistakes. So like when everybody's busy trying to enforce codes as laws, they're busy trying to interpret codes where they should be interpreting law. Like no man is in charge of saying that a fire, when you reach your hand inside of it, is going to burn you. It doesn't burn you because any man made a law saying that's how it's going to be. That is part of nature's law, creation's law, right? Or I guess, yeah, nature's law. But most people are trying to look through the lens of policy. How are we're trying to morally stand on somebody else's rules, not the rules of reality. So, I don't know. Fun
Yeah, the point is, it wasn't so long ago, as far as I understand it, we didn't have any of this. It's come in waves and layers. And now that we're here, folks can't imagine not having it. And I go, you can't imagine a world where there weren't like courts on every fucking corner and there wasn't costume men riding around patrolling? Like, you can't imagine a world where we just live as we know we're supposed to live, and if not, folks get dealt with, whatever that means, conversation or consequences. It's already happening. Like, it's already happening whether you know it or not. I know it's crazy and scary, but we're doing it every day until we have these interactions. So some of us don't seem to need to have any of this stuff because we never really need it. It seems to have a need to deal with us. Like, I'm not harming anyone. I'm not lying. I'm not causing any loss, injury, and harm. I'm pursuing my happiness, whatever that means to me. And there's no one on the other side who has any claims that I've done any wrong. They may have complaints. I mean, shit, line up people in my life who don't have a list of complaints for me. Whatever. But that's the difference. A system of complaints versus claims.
Mr. Paul Daddy, sir, I have a complaint. You're African-American mod. I think you need to reevaluate.
I'm not interested in you again trying to manipulate me hello? I'm really good at this game and I know what you're doing. You haven't even said anything and I know what you're about to do because I see your name and I already know your rap. You're going to try to convince me that Hank should lose his privileges of mod because he made an undiscerning decision by taking the juice. Here's the difference. Let me help you. Let me help you. I can't help you. That's what I keep forgetting. You won't let me or I can't. I don't have what you need. I believe I do, but you don't believe I do, so I don't. I know what you're doing. You're upset because you don't have a mod, and you're going to now try to undo all the other mods so you can have power, non-power. The difference is I gave you mods already. You abused them. I don't care what he did with his body and harmed himself. He never abused his mods on anyone else here yet. He hasn't even used them yet. So you're power hungry, like double, triple time. He's not. So he's fit to hold the power at this time. You're not. And your explanation or your manipulation doesn't work with me. So try better, do better next time. Because I saw it coming down the block and around the corner. You guys still don't understand. I got you beat. I got you beat. You're not smart enough. You're not clever enough. You can't bullshit fast enough. And you can't avoid being read for who and what you are. Okay, I'm done. Give me the final words. You got what you needed. No, you're getting what you needed now. I'm not listening to you. You got nothing. And you just reminded me we're a half an hour over the scheduled end time. And I said I was going to end early because I wanted to avoid retardation and toxicity. So your mere presence reminded me of what I said that I didn't hold to. Final words, please.
Well, if you like that your advocates are jabbed.
Not in this for what I like and don't like. If I was, I would have quit long ago. Final words, please.
The optics are high.
Right. The optics are high and the consciousness is so low it can't even be seen.
Well, thanks for the time. Always appreciate it here. Yeah, reminder to everybody, even just watching this shit can fucking feel like a weight. So, Paul, take time that you need, do some shit you need to do for you and everybody else too. Take a step away from the screen occasionally. Be a blessing, stay blessed, and have a good rest of your night. All right.
Thank you, Julian. Did you like how I just completely knew exactly what he was going to do without him even saying anything? Isn't that an amazing ability that I have? He didn't even fight it or argue with it. He just got so put off balance and then he made one last ditch effort and then ran. Right. See, you need that in life. Whatever that is, everyone needs that. So you avoid getting manipulated and deceived as much as possible. Nobody's perfect. I'm like 8 for 10. Right. 80% is really good in this life. If you can get 8 out of 10, you're doing really good.
Well, Paul, thank you very much, gentlemen alike. And I'm glad to hear that you feel much better. And I was just sending some energy from my way to you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, Paul. I was going to say, I don't think this guy right here, Mr. Casey, I think you got him beat, sir. Mystery Man of Miracles. I think you're the unslaved Man of Miracles. But not here to rub your legs with lotion and go holy. But I'm just saying, you didn't. I don't even think you camped up for more than a couple minutes today, and it was one of the better broadcasts of the last several days. So numbers were up a little bit at some points too. So it just
so you're telling me indirectly, go full pathetic warrior. Just don't even come on camera ever for every 3 hours. Do the whole broadcast without ever being seen.
I think sometimes the camera on can detract from, you know what I mean? Because you're like, not you at all, just anyone can take away because you're focused on, you're on camera.
I know what you're saying. That makes sense.
Yeah,
when there's less visual input, there's more ability to kind of connect with the voice and imagine whatever's going on. So you might have something there. That's probably why talk radio was a good format for what it was, because you could never see who was talking and allowed you to create your own imagery.
Precisely. Yep. You wouldn't think of for YouTube, because people want the visual too, but a lot of people aren't really watching. They're listening, and that while they're going about their day, like you already know this, working, people are driving around. So I agree with that sentiment right there as well.
All right, Sean, tell them to give me shit, because they're all down there saying it's the best ever. If that's the case, you owe me at least $1 for the month. So
well,
tell them to give me some shit, and then we're getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah, there is a scroll bar there at the bottom, and I love restreaming or
Nah, bro.
simulcasting.
Like, if they're gonna do that, they're gonna do that. The reality of it is we'll do like Talcott and be very coy. Maybe do the like thing, the share thing, whatever. Because it's like, I love being in the algorithm, I love being in everybody's face, and I love having an open platform to facilitate conversation with whoever may find value in that. So, yeah, work against the system while working with the system, right? Because we're really not against it. It's just they're against me or what I do, better yet. So, why not support what it is that you value or see value in, especially with everything else that's out there, right? I mean, that might just be the indicator. It's not an indicator of how great I am. It's an indicator of how horrible everything else is. So, yeah, do the like thing, subscribe thing, share thing, and move the numbers, move the conversation, move the energy.
Yeah, do exactly what he said, essentially. And if you do come up on panel and you got a channel, why not simulcast it? Why not, restream it to your channel? It'll bring in possibly some new energy from your spot. And yeah, I got to thank you, Paul, because it's partially in thanks to you. The restreaming, the simulcasting that I now just checked. I got 1,000 subs between my two channels. So between my two.
Oh yeah,
channels,
see, we're giving you content over there.
A little over, just over 600 on PinealPower and just under 400 on Shaunosaurus. So we're getting.
Well, if you really fucking break out, like sometimes you need to shut up and sometimes you need to talk more, and you need to figure out that balance. And once you do, I'm gonna get a real joy out of like not only us having more interesting conversation, but pissing off these beta male haters. See, now I got to stop. I'm getting in that mode, that competitive mode, right? I'm a very competitive person. I always have been. You just see me on the field with sports. That's why I couldn't continue, because everyone hated me. Right? Striking everyone out. I'm batting fourth. I'm doing it all, and they're sucking, and I'm like now freaking out on everyone. And then I just got to go sit down. I go, why am I here? Why do I even care about this? It's a meaningless game. Nobody else cares. They won't practice. They won't perform. It's been the same fucking thing from day one, right? And I'm the fat guy too. That's what I never said. I'm the fat guy who's supposed to have the disadvantage. I'm disabled too. I have ADHD and all types of other disabilities.
Yeah, it's funny. I didn't get the chance to say, but I resonate a lot on the baseball story with your dad. My dad too was really hard on me with baseball, man, and basketball, but baseball. I remember baseball especially. Like people would be like, they'd have to come up to. There's a couple times where someone would come up to me like, "Are you all right? Like, is he being hard on you?" Like shit like that. I remember that, but he just wanted to see me put my all into it, and it did help. It did help. I still wouldn't say I was the best by any means. It definitely wasn't the best, but far from it. But I was all right. I was far from the worst. I was somewhere in the middle, probably. But yeah, so that's where we differ, because you sound like you were more towards the top of the team. But maybe you're
because there's always these mixed messages, right? Like, what's the point of playing any game if you don't want to win? You're not supposed to win. Isn't that the objective, to win?
Right.
So winning doesn't matter. Well, then what the fuck are we doing here? Like, what's the point of playing the game in a venue where we're all striving to practice and compete to win if you're going to tell me winning doesn't matter? Like, so that was like the era that started to creep in around that time, where they would tell you shit like that. And, it feels good, sounds good when you lost, but that's what they tell losers, right? They don't tell the winners that. Winners are having pizza and they're excited and they just won and they performed and it all came together. They tell a bunch of losers it doesn't matter that you lost. Well, it does. You can get pizza any day of the week, but they feel like winners and you feel like losers. And there's a reason, because they wanted it more than you and they put in the time and the work and they got it done and you didn't. So do better next time, kid. But yeah, they wanted to bring in that feel good, sound good shit that caused everybody to not want to compete no more and do better so that they could strive toward being a winner in life. They just said, oh, we'll just make everybody a loser and make everybody content with that. And that's why society is failing.
Yeah, in more ways than one, right? In more ways than a few.
Yeah, just give them a participation trophy and a pizza party, and it's okay to be a loser. It's okay to not show up for yourself and others. It's okay to not practice and put the work in. It's okay to not perform and get results. Whatever. Someone else will do it. Right, the winners.
Yeah, no, I was never a pitcher, Meta. Never a pitcher, from what I remember. But anyway.
All right, get the hell out of here, Sean. You're going to keep me all night. I can feel it. I want to go eat. I haven't eaten yet today.
Prosperity.
I love you, brother. I don't know why that happened. I'm throwing you out. Bye. Go ahead, Joseph. Final word, please. Never enough for these people. Not you, Joseph.
Something to do with sports and your dad. You know, I think a lot of men, boys who became men can relate to their dad, their relationship with their dad when they play sports. When I play sports, I call it Valhalla. That's that place you can go where there's no thoughts, there's only flow. People coming together to just enjoy an activity, and I love that. The Magna Carta, I wanted to say much earlier, the Magna Carta, people crossed the ocean for, they sent a document back across. Other documents followed with. The law was written here. I was going to say earlier, the law was written here. It's in our hearts. We know what the truth is. It's whether we can look past the bullshit of our lies, of our biases, of our of certain individuals' embellishments and those cooperatives embellishments in order to get back to the law, which is here in our hearts, which was given to us by God. Thank you for your time, Paul, as always, and I hope you have a blessed evening and rest up.
Thank you, Joseph. I appreciate you being here and your commentary as well. You got a good head on your shoulders. You got a heart. What are you going to do with it? Same question we all got, I guess. All right, folks. Resoundingly successful broadcast. Conspicuously visually absent from this one, but they're telling me now it's better that way. So Pathetic Warrior might have been onto something. I may do all the rest of my broadcasts for a time. This will be the season 13. Go ask Tommy Illumatranny what his latest schizophrenic imagery reveals, what season we're in, so that I can get it right. But yeah, this next season I may just do completely off camera, unslaved audio only. Who knows? All right, folks, I'm out of here. Back tomorrow, somewhere between 12 to 3. I always say it's going to be a short one. It never turns out that way, but it may turn out that way in the future, just so that I can, get in a more centered, balanced, peaceful, healing, recovery phase, at least for a time. But you know me, I have such an overwhelming feeling of obligation and dedication, responsibility and accountability, and blessing as well. It's not all obligatory, right? It's like, I get to come here is the feeling. So then I go, well, why wouldn't I? Because I get to. So we'll see how that works out. I appreciate all you folks. Thank you to the contributors and supporters behind and in front of the scenes. You are a blessing, of course. Now go on. Get something done for the day. If you have to have that conversation, you need to have authentic, right? Accountable. Go ahead and do it. Why not? There is completion there, right? That's what I always contemplate on. That's what I always seek. If you didn't get anything done today and you're not going to have that conversation, go ahead and get it done. Whatever that is. If not, go rest up. Get your fix of the rest of the metaversal miscreants and the drama bonding and all the rest. And I'll see you folks tomorrow. Mazel from out west. Unslaved one. Out.